Have you ever felt weighed down by emotional attachment, trapped in a cycle that feels impossible to escape? It starts subtly. A glance, a word, a memory, and suddenly, you're spiraling. You find yourself constantly thinking about someone, reacting to their moods, or tying your self-worth to how they treat you. You feel emotionally entangled, as though your inner peace hinges entirely on their presence or approval. It's exhausting. And worst of all, it can make you feel like a prisoner in your own mind. But here's the truth, you are not alone in this. Countless people go through the same battle, wanting to move on, to let go, but feeling as if the emotional ties are just too strong to break. The good news? Freedom is possible. And you don't need to run away from your emotions to get there, you need to master them. That's where the ancient wisdom of Stoic philosophy comes in. Why Stoicism? Why now? For thousands of years, Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus have taught how to find peace amid chaos, how to rise above emotional entanglements and live with clarity and strength, even when life feels like it's falling apart. Their insights are not only timeless, they're urgently needed in today's emotionally overstimulated world. So in this video, we're going to walk through 10 Stoic principles that will help you break the cycle of emotional attachment, reclaim your sense of self, and find lasting inner peace. What makes detachment so powerful? As Seneca wisely put it, "He who is brave is free." Detachment is not about becoming numb or indifferent. It's about building emotional sovereignty, the ability to remain steady and grounded, regardless of what happens around you. It's about removing your peace from the hands of others, and placing it back where it belongs, inside you. When you begin to detach, something incredible happens. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop losing yourself in someone else and begin reconnecting with your authentic self. This is emotional freedom. And it changes everything. Are you ready to break free? If you've been feeling stuck, held back by thoughts of someone, emotionally drained by a connection that no longer serves you, this video is for you. We'll guide you through 10 practical Stoic habits to transform how you relate to your emotions, your relationships, and ultimately, yourself. But before we begin, ask yourself, what holds true value in my life, if not peace of mind? It's time to reclaim your energy, your clarity, your strength. And if this resonates with you, consider subscribing to our channel and joining a community of people committed to personal growth and emotional resilience. Share your thoughts in the comments. If you're not sure what to say, just type. Emotional freedom starts now. Rule number 1, the power of detachment. Are you holding the remote, or is someone else? Have you ever felt like your emotions are no longer your own? Like your happiness, sadness, or sense of self-worth rises and falls with another person's actions? That's not just emotional dependency, it's a form of emotional captivity. And it happens when we over-attach. When we tie our peace to something, or someone, we can't control, we end up giving away our power. Detachment is how we take it back. But first, let's address a common misunderstanding. What detachment is, and what it isn't. Detachment doesn't mean shutting off your feelings. It doesn't mean becoming cold, distant, or uncaring. On the contrary, it means caring deeply, but wisely. It means learning to love, support, and connect without losing yourself in the process. When you detach, you still feel, you just don't allow those feelings to override your principles, cloud your judgment, or steal your peace. It's not about giving less love. It's about giving love from a place of strength, not need. The wisdom of Epictetus. We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. Epictetus. This quote captures the very core of detachment. It's not what happens to us that causes pain, it's how we interpret it. How we internalize it. How we attach meaning to it. When you reframe your perspective, you begin to loosen the emotional grip. You begin to see that your suffering often comes not from the person, but from your attachment to what they represent: love, validation, security. The kite analogy: who controls your emotions? Imagine your emotions are like a kite. And every string tied to a person, idea, or expectation represents a force that can pull you. Now imagine you're holding so many strings, or one single string so tightly, that you're at the mercy of every gust of wind. That's what attachment feels like. Stoicism teaches us to loosen our grip. To recognize that while we can't control the wind, we can choose which strings to hold on to, and which ones to release. You don't need to cut all ties. You just need to stop gripping so tightly that you lose your balance. How to begin practicing detachment. Detachment is a skill. And like any skill, it takes awareness, patience, and daily practice. Here's how to begin. Identify your attachments. Who or what has emotional control over you right now? Is it a relationship? A need for approval? A past version of yourself? Ask why. Are you afraid of being alone? Are you chasing validation? Are you trying to prove your worth? The deeper your understanding, the easier it becomes to let go. Redirect your focus inward. Fill your life with actions, habits, and relationships that reflect your values, not your voids. Build a life so rich with purpose that you no longer look outward for worth. Release what you can't control. You cannot force people to love you. You cannot change the past. You cannot control every outcome. But you can choose how you respond. And that is where your power lies. The result? Clarity, confidence, and control. As you practice detachment, you'll notice something beautiful. You'll stop overreacting. You'll stop overthinking. You'll stop feeling like a passenger in your own life. Instead, you'll respond with calm. You'll act with intention. You'll live from a place of internal steadiness, not external approval. And that changes everything. Because when your peace no longer depends on people or circumstances, you become unshakable. When your happiness, your sense of self, your stability, when all of that is no longer in someone else's hands, you discover a power that cannot be taken away. You stop being reactive. You stop being thrown around by every text message, every argument, every mood swing, every change in someone else's behavior. You become anchored. This is what it means to become emotionally sovereign. You move from a place of dependency to a place of deep, unshakable presence. You're no longer holding out for someone to validate your existence, to choose you, or to make you feel complete. You become complete within yourself. Not because you shut yourself off, but because you've learned to return home to the only source of peace that's ever truly stable, your own mind. He who is brave is free. Seneca. Bravery, as Seneca suggests, is not just facing physical danger. It's the willingness to face emotional discomfort. It's the courage to let go of the illusions we cling to, the illusion that we need someone to be whole, the illusion that our worth is dependent on our productivity, or our beauty, or how many people love us. True bravery is being willing to sit with emptiness without rushing to fill it. It's being able to walk away from what no longer serves you, even when your heart is still attached. It's the willingness to break patterns that feel familiar but keep you stuck. This kind of bravery, the courage to let go, is what true freedom is made of. Most people think freedom is the ability to do whatever they want. But Stoic freedom isn't about external permission, it's about internal mastery. It's the ability to live on your own terms, to remain calm when the world is chaotic, to remain kind when others are unkind, to remain whole even when things fall apart. That is the highest form of freedom. Detachment doesn't mean withdrawing from life. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you engage with life more fully, because now, you're no longer ruled by fear, anxiety, or the desire to control outcomes. It means you can love without clinging. You can care without losing yourself. You can show up fully while still honoring your boundaries. This is what Stoicism teaches us, not to suppress emotions, but to rise above being ruled by them. When you detach, you stop living in reaction mode. You stop riding the emotional roller coaster that other people build for you. Instead, you build your own foundation. You step into a kind of clarity that most people never taste, not because it's unavailable, but because it requires discipline. It requires letting go. And letting go is one of the hardest things we'll ever do. We hold on because it's familiar. We hold on because we're afraid of the void that will come after. We hold on because we believe, somewhere deep down, that we won't be okay without that person, or that situation, or that label, or that belief. But here's the truth, the void isn't something to fear. The void is sacred. It's the empty space where you finally meet yourself. It's where you stop running. It's where you stop performing. It's where you rediscover who you are when you're not being pulled in 1,000 directions. Final thoughts. Detachment isn't about losing love. It's about rediscovering your own. It's about remembering that you are worthy, not because someone says so, but because you exist. It's about remembering that your peace doesn't come from having everything in order, but from your ability to stay centered when things fall out of place. It's about choosing your peace over your fear. Your growth over your comfort. Your truth over your attachments. Growth is uncomfortable. Detachment is uncomfortable. But so is staying stuck. So is shrinking yourself for someone else's approval. So is losing yourself in things that were never meant to define you. You have a choice. You can keep trying to control everything, your relationships, your image, the way others see you, or you can focus on the one thing you can control, how you show up. How you speak to yourself. How you honor your values. How you protect your peace. By embracing Stoic wisdom, you don't become less emotional, you become more emotionally intelligent. You become the kind of person who can feel deeply without falling apart. The kind of person who can experience loss without losing yourself. The kind of person who can walk away from drama, manipulation, or chaos, not because you're cold, but because you're clear. You become more grounded. More whole. And wholeness isn't perfection. It's integrity. It's alignment. It's coming home to yourself. It's knowing who you are and what you stand for, even when the world is trying to pull you in every direction. So, are you ready to take that first step toward emotional freedom? The journey begins now. Conclusion. Let's bring everything together, the insights, the principles, the practices, and distill them into one final, powerful truth. Emotional detachment is not a retreat from life, it is an invitation to live more deeply, more consciously, and more authentically. Many of us grow up believing that attachment is love, that control is safety, and that emotional dependency is intimacy. But these beliefs often lead us into cycles of pain. We chase people who don't value us, we beg for affection from those who are emotionally unavailable, and we tether our sense of identity to fleeting relationships or temporary roles. Detachment shows us another way. It teaches us to find peace within rather than seek it without. It teaches us that we don't have to chase what's meant for us. It teaches us to hold everything, not just people, but outcomes, goals, and even our own emotions, with open hands. In this journey, we learn that we are not our feelings. We are the awareness behind those feelings. We are not defined by someone else's opinion of us. We are not less whole because someone left, nor are we more worthy because someone stayed. Our value is constant. Unshakable. Detachment doesn't mean indifference, it means discernment. It means choosing what truly matters and letting go of what drains, distracts, or diminishes us. In practical terms, detachment looks like saying no without guilt. Setting boundaries without fear. Walking away from toxicity without explanation. Releasing outcomes without anxiety. Making peace with the present instead of obsessing over the past or future. These are not signs of detachment from life, they are signs of deep engagement with your own power. The Stoics teach us that true control lies not in changing the world, but in mastering how we relate to the world. And this is where detachment shines brightest. It transforms our relationship with adversity, with others, and most importantly, with ourselves. Let's reflect on this. When you detach from what you cannot control, you free up energy to invest in what you can. You begin to water your own garden instead of waiting for someone else to bring you flowers. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, your life begins to shift. You begin to feel lighter. More spacious. More aligned. You find that the chaos outside no longer stirs chaos within. You find that your boundaries are no longer walls, but bridges to healthier connections. You find that you can love people without losing yourself in them. That you can pursue your goals without being owned by them. That you can face uncertainty without collapsing under it. This is what it means to be unshakable. So if you're at a crossroads right now, if you're wondering whether you should let go of a person, a job, a pattern, or a version of yourself, ask not what it will cost you to let go. Ask what it's already costing you to hold on. Ask who you could become if you weren't constantly gripping so tightly.